This isn't just a story. It's a journey, one that'll stay with you long after the video ends. So if you've ever felt love, loss, betrayal, or hope, then stay with us. Because this story deserves to be heard from the very first second to the very last. If this video moves you, even for a moment, please give it a like. Leave a comment telling us which part hit you the hardest, and share it with someone who needs to feel something real today. And if you love stories that are raw, emotional, and unforgettable, then subscribe to the channel, because we don't just tell stories here. We bring them to life.
My name is Aiden. I'm 26 and I live in a cozy little apartment just outside Manhattan. I work in graphic design, drive a decent car, and have a small group of friends. But out of all the people in my life, there's one person who means the most: Emily. Emily is 24. She's been my best friend since high school. We met in freshman year when she dropped her books and I helped pick them up. From that moment something clicked. We did everything together. Homework, movies, road trips, late night calls about broken hearts. We always said we were just friends, even when people around us questioned how we never fell for each other. But the truth is, I did. I just never told her. I watched her date guys who didn't deserve her, saw her cry over breakups, heard her laugh in the middle of the night over silly memes. And every single time I swallowed my feelings, smiled, and reminded myself she's your best friend. Don't ruin it. But things changed on the night of her 24th birthday. It was a chilly December evening. She invited a bunch of friends over for a small rooftop party at her building. I arrived with her favorite wine and a nervous smile. I don't know why, but something about that night felt different. Like the air was heavier, like something was about to happen. When she opened the door, my heart stopped. She wore a simple white satin dress that hugged her body perfectly. Her lips were red, her eyes lined with just the right touch of mystery. Her dark brown hair flowed freely over her shoulders, catching the fairy lights above her. She looked ethereal. "You clean up well," she said, smiling. I chuckled, trying not to stare too long. "You look beautiful, Em." She blushed and looked away. "Thanks. You always say the right things." The party was fun. People danced, laughed, drank. But I couldn't take my eyes off her. Every time she brushed past me, every time her fingers touched mine by accident, something inside me stirred. I'd never wanted someone so badly and been so afraid to lose them at the same time. By midnight, most of the guests had left. Only a few stragglers remained, and eventually, it was just the two of us on the rooftop. Blankets wrapped around our shoulders, mugs of hot cocoa in our hands, the city lights twinkling below. She looked at me, her voice quiet. "Can I tell you something without you freaking out?" "Always. I've been feeling weird lately. About us." My heart started pounding. "Weird, how?" She looked down at her mug. "I don't know. I think about you all the time. Not like before. It's different. I imagine what it'd be like to kiss you. To wake up next to you. And then I feel guilty because we're friends and I don't want to ruin what we have." I sat frozen. My heart was in my throat. "I feel the same way," I finally said. Her eyes shot up to mine. "I've loved you for years, Em. I was just too scared to say it." She didn't speak. She just leaned forward and kissed me. It was soft at first, unsure, tentative. But then her hands tangled in my hair and mine slipped around her waist, and suddenly the years of tension, the buried feelings, the stolen glances, they all exploded into that kiss. When we finally pulled apart, breathless, she whispered, "What now?" I smiled. "Now, we stop pretending." We went inside her apartment. Neither of us spoke. The silence wasn't awkward, it was electric. She led me to her room and I followed. That night we crossed the line. And it wasn't just sex. It was years of emotion, longing, fear, and love poured into each touch. Her body felt familiar and new all at once. She trembled in my arms and I held her like I'd been waiting my whole life. When we finally collapsed into each other, skin to skin, heart to heart, she whispered, "I think I was always in love with you." I kissed her forehead. Then maybe we were never just friends. And as the city slept below, Emily curled into my chest and I realized That night didn't ruin anything. It began everything. The sunlight crept in through Emily's window, casting a warm glow on her face as she lay beside me. Her hair was messy, her breathing soft. For a moment I didn't move. I just watched her, trying to capture this exact feeling. Peace, contentment, and something terrifyingly new, hope. Last night had changed everything. We weren't just best friends anymore. She stirred slightly and opened her eyes. There was a flicker of surprise on her face when she realized I was still there, still holding her. She blinked a few times, then smiled, but it wasn't the usual carefree Emily smile. It was softer, nervous, heavy. "Hey," I said gently. "Hey," she whispered back. There was silence between us, not uncomfortable but loaded. Like we were both trying to figure out how real last night had been. And more importantly, what now? Emily sat up, pulling the blanket around her bare shoulders. "Aiden, do you think this was a mistake?" That question hit me hard. I had feared it somewhere deep down. "No," I said quickly, sitting up too. "Not even close." "You." She paused, biting her lower lip like she always did when she was thinking too hard. "I don't know. It felt right. Last night felt like the most honest thing I've ever done. But also it scares the hell out of me." I reached for her hand. "We crossed a line, I know. But maybe we were always meant to." Her eyes welled up. "What if we lose each other? What if we gain everything?" We sat like that for a long time, fingers entwined, hearts racing. There was no turning back. And neither of us wanted to. But that didn't make it easy. Over the next few days we tried to act normal. But nothing about us felt normal anymore. Our jokes carried more weight. Our glances lingered longer. Every time we touched, even accidentally, it sent a spark through my body. And yet, there was fear too. Like we were both walking on glass, unsure which step might shatter what we had built over the years. We hadn't told anyone. Not yet. It felt too new, too fragile to share with the world. But it also felt too real to hide. One evening, 3 days after that night, she came over to my apartment. I opened the door and saw her standing there looking conflicted. "I needed to see you," she said. "I'm sorry I've been distant." I stepped aside, letting her in. "Talk to me." She walked in, then turned to face me. "I got an email today. From a company in Paris. Remember that art fellowship I applied for 6 months ago?" I nodded slowly. "They accepted me," she said, voice shaky. 1-year program. Fully paid. My dream, Aiden. I smiled, proud of her. But inside I felt the floor drop beneath me. "That's amazing," I said quietly. "You deserve it." "I haven't said yes yet," she continued. "Because of you." Now it was my turn to look conflicted. "Emily, don't you dare not go because of me." Her brows furrowed. "But what about us?" I stepped closer, placing a hand on her cheek. "If we're real, then this won't break us. Don't choose me over your dream. Please." "But what if it changes everything?" I smiled gently. "It already has." She leaned into my touch. "Do you think we can survive the distance?" "I think, if what we feel is real, then yeah. We can survive anything." She didn't answer. Instead she kissed me, slowly, deeply. Like a promise wrapped in sadness. And that night, for the second time, we made love. It was softer. Slower. Bitter and sweet. Like we were trying to memorize each other's skin in case time tried to erase it. A week later, I stood at JFK Airport, holding her hand as her boarding group was called. "I'll call every night," she said. "I'll wait for every call," I replied. She kissed me one last time and I watched her walk away, heart full of love, chest full of ache. As she disappeared through the gate, I whispered under my breath, "Please come back to me." And with that, my best friend, my love, my everything, was gone for now. But this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of the hardest part. It had been exactly 17 days since Emily left for Paris. In the beginning we tried. God knows we did. Morning texts. Late-night video calls. Random voice notes saying, "I miss you." Her laughter through my phone made me smile. Her stories about cobblestone streets, croissants, and art museums made me proud. But slowly, reality crept in. The time difference. The busy schedules. The nights I'd call only to see missed flash hours later. The texts that once came in minutes now arrived after hours. One-word replies. Forgotten calls. Distance didn't just stretch miles between us. It built silence. And that silence began to scare me. I tried to stay patient. I told myself, she's chasing her dream. Don't be selfish. But every night my bed felt colder, my world duller. I missed her voice, her presence, her chaos. Then one night everything shifted. It was 2 a.m. I was scrolling through Instagram when I saw it. A photo of Emily at a cafe in Paris. He was laughing, sitting across from a guy. Bearded, handsome. His eyes locked on her like the world didn't exist. My heart sank. I stared at the caption. Lyon teaches me how to order wine in French. Still terrible at it, a wine glass face with tears of joy. No mention of me. No trace of us. Just her glowing. And him too close for comfort. I tried to ignore it. But the next night during our call I asked, "Who's Lyon?" She hesitated. "Just a friend. We're in the same program." "Okay," I said, masking the storm inside me. But she knew. "Aiden, he's just a friend." I nodded. "I trust you." And I did. Or at least I wanted to. But 2 nights later the call came. "I need to tell you something," she said. Her voice was small. I braced myself. Lyon kissed me. Silence. "I didn't kiss him back," she rushed. I pulled away. "I told him about you." I didn't stop him fast enough. I didn't know what to say. My chest burned. My stomach turned. "I don't know why I didn't stop him sooner," she whispered. "Maybe because I was lonely. Maybe because I was confused. But Aiden, it made me realize one thing." "What?" I choked. "That it's always been you." The moment his lips touched mine, I didn't feel excitement. I felt guilt. Because my heart was already taken. Tears filled my eyes. I turned my face from the screen. "I'm sorry," she whispered again. I took a shaky breath. "Thank you for telling me. I couldn't keep it from you." "I know," I whispered. "But now, I don't know where we stand." She broke down. "I'm scared, Aiden. I don't want to lose you." "I'm not gone," I said quietly. "But we can't pretend this didn't happen." That night I couldn't sleep. Her honesty hurt. But the lie would have destroyed me. 3 days passed. No calls. No messages. I kept staring at her contact name, my thumb hovering over call. But I didn't. Until the 4th day when I heard the knock on my door. I opened it and there she was. Emily. Soaked in rain. Shivering. Mascara smudged. Breathing hard. "What are you?" "I left the program," she interrupted. "I packed everything. I got the first flight home." "What?" "I couldn't do it anymore," she said. "I couldn't smile in Paris while knowing I broke your heart. I couldn't look at Lyon again. I couldn't sleep knowing you were hurting." I stood frozen, rain pouring behind her. "I came back because you're home, Aiden. Not New York. Not Paris. You." She stepped forward and placed her hand on my chest. "Please let me fix this," she whispered. "If we fall, let's fall together. Not apart." I pulled her in, wrapped my arms around her and held her tighter than ever. Tears mixed with the rain on both our faces. We didn't speak. We didn't need to. That night we made love again. Not out of passion but from redemption. From the fear of losing something real. From the aching truth that even broken love, if honest, can still be healed. As we lay in bed I whispered, "You came back to me." She looked into my eyes and said, "I never really left." 3 months had passed since Emily came back from Paris. We were stronger. Not because things went smoothly, but because they didn't. We'd fought, cried, healed. And after everything we had chosen each other. Again. But love, no matter how deep, doesn't exist in a vacuum. People began to notice. Started with our friend group. At a small get-together someone said, "So, you two are official now?" Emily and I looked at each other, smiled and nodded. "You guys were always something even if you didn't admit it," another friend added. It was obvious. We laughed it off, but beneath the surface we both felt it. the weight of going public. Of finally saying, yes, this is real. This is love. But not everyone was supportive. One afternoon, Emily's ex, Jason, showed up at her cafe. He had clearly heard the news. So you ended up with your best friend, huh? He said, arms crossed. Was it always like this behind the scenes? Emily stood firm. No, Jason. But even if it had been, it's none of your business. You know what they say, he scoffed. If you date your best friend, you ruin both the friendship and the romance. It never ends well. I happened to walk in at that moment. I didn't plan to speak, but I saw her hand clench at her side. So I stepped forward. Calmly. Confidently. We didn't ruin anything, I told him. We revealed what was always there. You don't lose a friendship when you fall in love with your best friend. You find something that no one else ever gave you. Honesty without fear. Jason rolled his eyes and walked out. Emily exhaled deeply and turned to me. Thank you. I'll always stand beside you, I said. No matter who questions us. We decided to stop hiding. We posted our first picture together, holding hands at the Central Park Bridge, both of us smiling, no filters. Just us. Within hours, the comments came pouring in. Finally. You guys were made for each other. Took you long enough. This gives me hope. And then, one private message. From a girl we both knew in college. It read, I never believed love stories like this were real. Watching you two become something so beautiful makes me believe again. Thank you for being brave. Emily read it aloud, her eyes glassy. It's strange, she said. For years I was afraid of losing us if I crossed that line. But now I realize, not crossing it would have meant losing everything. One quiet Sunday, we sat in the same coffee shop where we'd spent hundreds of hours as just friends. She was stirring her drink absent-mindedly when I pulled out a tiny black box from my jacket pocket. She looked up, eyes wide. Aiden? I didn't kneel. I didn't make a scene. I just placed the box on the table between us and opened it. A simple ring. No diamonds. Just silver. Engraved inside were the words. You were never just a friend. Her hands flew to her mouth. I took a deep breath. Emily, I don't need grand speeches. I just need you. Not because we've been through hell together, not because we healed each other, but because even in our most fragile moments we still chose to stay. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Yes. 1,000 times yes. I slipped the ring onto her finger and she leaned over the table and kissed me, slow, warm, and familiar. And in that moment the coffee shop disappeared. The noise, the people, the world faded. It was just us. Just like it had always been. Today people still ask us, how did you know it was more than friendship? We smile. And we say, because one day we stopped being afraid. And we started being honest. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy. But it was ours. The kind of love that grows quietly, lives deeply, and stays forever. We were best friends once. And then we fell in love.